One day, a couple of years ago, Lily and we met with a woman who was looking to come into the school as a student. And as we always do, we asked her, "Oh, what's your reason for coming into the school? What are you looking for?" And she answered, and I will always remember this answer, that she had tried to heal herself with natural medicine on her own for many years, but she always ended up giving up because she didn't really know what she was doing and she didn't really have the support. So her reason for wanting to come into the school was to get the clarity on what she needed to do for herself and also the ongoing support for a couple of years. Hi, I'm Gitte Lassen, and today I'd like to talk with you about the Wise Woman's Way of Healing. I mentioned in the last video that several years ago I lost my health, and I remember feeling exactly the same way this woman was feeling. Totally confused whether I was doing the right thing for me and always doubting whether I needed to do something else. And because of this doubt and lack of confidence in what I was doing, I was never really completely committed to anything I chose. And it wasn't until I met Lilia and she created a 3 month integrated natural healing program for me that I got the confidence to go ahead with natural medicine and eventually use that to heal myself. So today I'd like to talk with you about the 5 levels of the Wise Woman's Way of Healing. So why don't you join me, come back inside, and I'll get on the computer.
Okay, so here we are. Brigitte Mars, our expert herbalist teacher and author of several popular books on herbal and natural medicine, brought the concept of the Wise Woman's Way of Healing to our school. It is a holistic and inclusive approach that invites us to take responsibility for our own health and empowers us to do so. I'll be going through the 5 steps of the Wise Woman Way, one by one. You may want to grab pen and paper to take notes as we go along. You can also download our 25 top body mind health tips by clicking on the link below the video. Follow directions and the tips will be sent to you in an email shortly. The 25 top body mind health tips booklet is our carefully selected gift to you. Okay, so at level 1 of the Wise Woman's Way of Healing, we ask ourselves, what is the lesson? We have come to believe that more often than not, we are creators of our own health problems in one way or another. Level 1 of the Wise Woman's Way invites us to consider the answers to these questions. Where did I turn wrong? How did I, myself, create this health problem? What in my lifestyle weakened me enough to activate symptoms? What is my stress level? How did this lack of health come about? Where have I let myself deviate from my best living? Where have I been untrue to myself? How well do I take care of myself? And what can I learn from my declining health? We also look at how well we live, the 4 cornerstones of real health, which I talked about in the first video. We also look to our emotional and mental health on level 1, something I will talk in more detail about in the next video. People often say, my health hasn't ever been the same since, and you fill in the blank. And that's very often when something big happened in their life that had a very strong emotional impact, or maybe physical impact, and they have never recovered. So could this have been the case with you? What traumas have you experienced? Did something happen to you? Maybe even when you were a child that had a strong emotional and physical impact that could still be affecting you today? What are your addictions? And what about your general day-to-day mental and emotional state of being? How satisfied are you with your life today? Do you love what you do for a living? How happy are you in your closest relationships? Do you tend to worry a lot? Do you suffer from depression and or anxiety? Are you bored with your life? Does your teenager make your home life difficult? All these things can greatly affect your physical health. At level 1 of the Wise Woman's Way, you really need to do quite a lot of detective work in all areas of your life to find out what caused or is causing your health problems. Knowing the answers to the questions above empowers you to make the necessary changes to pave the way for improved health. Level 2 of the Wise Woman's Way asks, how much can you heal by changing what you eat? Food is one of the cornerstones of real health, and if you haven't watched it yet, I'd like to invite you to watch it by clicking on the link at the top of this page. For now, I'd just like to say again that chemicals masquerading as food is not and will never be real food, and will never be what makes your body work right. It's like putting water into the gas tank of your car. It just won't drive that well and will end up needing repairs. In other words, the car got sick. This is exactly the same thing that happens to your body when you eat the wrong kind of food. So what the body needs is what we call high quality foods. Pure, whole, natural foods, preferably organic and preferably locally grown, with a high percentage of raw vegetables and fruits. Level 3 of the Wise Woman Way is all about using nature to facilitate healing. In talking about nature for healing, I'd like to introduce to you the concept of nature deficit disorder. Nature deficit disorder is a term coined by Richard Louv in his book, The Last Child in the Woods. When I first heard about nature deficit disorder, something inside me clicked. I instantly recognized the concept. Even though originally applied to how children's behavior suffered when the children didn't get enough nature, the pioneering modality of eco-psychotherapy recognizes that nature is also important to your mind and spirit. And now research has confirmed this, that it's not just your imagination. There are actual positive changes in your brain when you spend time in nature. And naturopaths, of course, have known since the beginning of time that nature is a powerful healer of not only your body, but also your mind. So I'd like now to go through a few points about nature deficit disorder in no particular order. So listen carefully. To us, nature deficit disorder refers to the psychological and physical imbalances and health problems brought on by too little nature. A few summers ago, I was very engaged in picking herbs for drying, and so spent a lot of time moving very slowly through nature. I, and the other people with me, found it a wonderfully soul-filling and nurturing experience, quite different from taking a walk. Why do so many people like camping? Everyone I know feel better in nature. Why is that? Why do so many people spend their vacation getting nature experiences? Taking herbs, that's taking nature's bounty inside your body to heal your physical nature deficit disorder. Raw food, the uncooked vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds, is pure nature that you put into your body. Why do people love the way they feel when eating raw food? Well, why are so many city dwellers so stressed, depressed, anxious, aggressive, materialistic, rushaholics? Does nature reset and reharmonize your electromagnetic frequency to the right health-inducing one after we modern creatures have been polluted by the electromagnetic signals of our wonderful technology? In the school, we look at these 5 ways of using nature as a healer. Diet, herbs, cleanses, essential oils, flower essences, and naturopathic treatments. Now, level 2 of the Wise Woman's Way is about food. So why do we talk about food again? Well, specific healing diets, as opposed to just changing your daily food intake, can be very beneficial. And I'd like to share a couple of these special healing diets here. Fasting is a well-known and well-respected healing modality that has been used throughout history to facilitate healing. There are various kinds of fasting. Juice fasting is probably the most popular one, whether fruit or vegetable juices. but water fasting is also quite popular. The Master Cleanse is another popular fasting method that has been around since, I believe, the 70s. And rice fasting is also a common one. We here in the school are fond of the Great Liquid Diet, which is a diet consisting solely of blended foods. The advantage of the Great Liquid Diet, as opposed to fasting, is that it's often gentler on your body, while still as strongly cleansing, healing, and rejuvenating. Another healing diet is a mono diet, where you only eat one kind of food each time. For example, only almonds, or only apples, or only steamed broccoli. It is much easier for your digestion to only digest one food at a time. You can eat as many times a day as long as there's a minimum of 1 hour between each meal. Herbs are nature's pharmacy, and herbal medicine is the art and practice of using plants and various products based on plants to encourage health and healing. There's so many ways to use herbs: fresh in tea or salads or soups, dried in teas, powdered, in a synergistic formula with other herbs, or as extracts. Using herbs doesn't have to be complicated, and there are many herbs that are perfectly safe for everyone to use on a daily basis. Everywhere you go, each country, each culture, has a tradition of herbal medicine based on the local plant life stretching back through the centuries. When it comes to herbs, historically and traditionally, the herbs used for health and healing were the ones growing locally. As trade became more prominent, more exotic herbs were grown in the gardens of cloisters and monasteries, or bought from traveling merchants in a dried or powdered form. Each herb, each plant, has its own unique qualities. Some herbs are very specialized in what they do for the body, and others have broad spectrum application. One of the best ways to enjoy nature's bounty and get more nature in your body is by eating wild herbs. Edible herbs can be used in salads, in green smoothies, and added to juices. They can be fried and baked or added to soups and stews. One of our favorite ways of using raw, fresh, and wild herbs is by making green water. You make green water by blending wild edibles with maybe an apple or a date with some water and straining it. The liquid left is green and super nutritional. You can play with ingredients and vary them to make a variety of green water. Here now are some of our favorite wild edible plants that many of you can collect for yourself and use fresh or dried. Dandelion is supposedly one of the 5 most nutritious plants of the world and is very good for the liver. It is best to use the young leaves, as the leaves get more bitter the older they are. Dandelion's Latin name, Taraxacum officinale, means official remedy for disorder, which tells us that this weed has been known as a great healer for a long, long time. Nettle is an herb that grows in abundance almost everywhere. It is a power plant packed full of nutrients. It is also one of the first plants in the spring, which has made it a traditional spring tonic in many countries. Nettle, interestingly, has more protein than most plants, up to 40% in the dried leaves, making it one of your best sources of plant-based protein. Kelp, collected at the beaches, is high in essential trace minerals, and especially high in iodine, necessary for the health of your thyroid. The thyroid plays a major role in your body's metabolism and growth, and helps to regulate many of your body's functions by constantly releasing a steady amount of hormones into the bloodstream. And last, peppermint. Although seldom a wild plant, it grows easily almost everywhere, tastes good, and is not only an excellent digestive aid, but is also good when you have a cold or suffer from inflammation of any kind. In addition, many of your kitchen herbs and spices have medicinal properties. For example, is cinnamon really good for your digestive system? Essential oils are ethereal oils distilled from plants. Did you know that essential oils have been used for thousands of years? The picture you see here are of essential oils from the biblical times. We know of essential oils from the Bible, mentioned in the Bible, and also from ancient Egyptian tombs, which seems like essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and spikenard were highly valued perhaps as gold and jewels. The essential oils have both physical and mental, emotional, spiritual properties. Frankincense, to name a well-known one, has long been associated with strengthening one's spirituality and has been a part of the Catholic Church ritual since the beginning of the Catholic Church. So frankincense essential oils is not only for strengthening your connection with the higher power. Frankincense is considered a tonic, as it benefits all systems operating in your body, including the digestive, respiratory systems and the nervous system. It also helps your body to absorb nutrients and strengthens your immune system, promotes healthy cell regeneration, and keeps existing cells and tissues healthy. Another popular essential oil is lavender, and one that is always good to have around the house. Lavender is also a tonic, and it is very calming to the nervous system and helps improve your sleep. It is excellent for all skin problems, including acne and burns, and is a great bug repellent. And it's good for your digestion as well. The last essential oil I want to mention is peppermint. Earlier I talked about the peppermint herb. While herbs and the essential oils made from the herbs carry some of the same properties, they aren't always exactly the same. For example, the essential oil peppermint, beyond being a great digestive aid and good for inflammation and colds, is also very cooling on heated skin and is also a great energizer when you need a quick energy boost. It can also frequently be used as a headache relief. A quick and easy way to use the essential oils is to put a couple of drops in your palms, spread the oil out in your palms, and rub them on the bottom of your feet. And if you think this sounds strange, try rubbing a raw garlic clove on the bottom of your feet and notice how short time it takes before you can taste it in your mouth. The molecules of the essential oils are so small they easily penetrate your skin and travel through your body to where they are needed. Another way of using the essential oils is just to inhale deeply from the drops of oil in your palms. There are, of course, many more essential oils with wonderful properties, and I encourage you to learn more about them, whether through our school or elsewhere. The Flower Essence Society tells us the flower essences are herbal infusions or decoctions made from the flowering parts of the plant, which uniquely address emotional and mental aspects of wellness. Flower essences or flower remedies was first created by Dr. Edward Bach in the 1930s when he saw how related physical and emotional health were. He left his practice as a medical doctor and turned his focus toward finding a way to help his patients heal their emotions as well as their bodies. Having learned during his years of practice that this had to go hand in hand with physical healing for true healing to take place. In the years since then, many other people in many countries on all continents have been called to not only create flower remedies, but also essences from glaciers, crystals, and animal spirits. Flower essences are part of a system of holistic medicine collectively known as vibrational medicine, or sometimes energy medicine. To understand how flower essences work, or vibrational medicine work, we need to look at human beings holistically. That all human beings have an electromagnetic field surrounding us, containing various frequencies corresponding to the various body-mind parts of us. Most people, including me, refer to this electromagnetic field as the energy field of a person. Vibrational medicine, including flower essences, works work with resonance. The frequency of a specific flower essence resonates with the corresponding mental or emotional issue in you and brings it to your awareness to be solved. You could perhaps compare flower essences to music, which carries meaning to the frequencies of sound. Different instruments carry different frequencies, making different tones. Flower essences are like the tones, and like Ella Fitzgerald singing and creating resonance in a glass so it bursts. So flower essences sets up resonances in your energy field that loosens your emotional and mental issues and either slowly eradicates them or brings them to your full awareness so they are there to be dealt with. So flower essences support you in the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect of your health and well-being and your healing by helping you see your own thought and behavior patterns more clearly and help you change them. Now, there are so many excellent flower essences out there, and it's hard to recommend just a few of them because people have so many different issues. I would like, though, to mention Bach's Rescue Remedy as an important one to have on hand always for shock and trauma relief. Take a drop or two under the tongue every 10 minutes, or maybe even 5 minutes, until the shock begins to wear off, and then lengthen the time between each dose as needed. There is no danger of overdosing, so don't worry. With flower essences, it's important to remember that the frequency of taking flower essences is more important than the amount. It's also an excellent initial first aid in case of a physical injury. Take it like described above, just before, but also apply it directly to the site of injury if possible, even more than once. It can't physically do any harm, as on the physical level it's only water with a tiny amount of brandy in it for preservation. The Rescue Remedy exists in other versions from other lines of flower essences, and they are all good. In our school, we prefer to focus on local products, and we like the Icelandic version, which is called Life Power. Naturopathic home treatments are simple treatments that are easily done at home and requires no special ingredients or equipment. 100 to 150 years ago, the nature cure movement was very popular. They used many treatment methods that we are proud to carry forward into an age where we are perhaps too dependent on fancy things, and many of them are technological. I'll give you a few examples here today, and I urge you to try them on and see how much difference they really make if you apply them consistently. Now, the simplest one is cold water. Before you say, no way, let me explain a little bit more. It's not only the cold water, it's the alternating between cold and hot water that is so stimulating to your body on so many different levels. Even just finishing your shower with cold water, and I mean cold, not icy, is very refreshing and energizing, and something you'll quickly learn to really appreciate for how fantastically invigorated it makes you feel. Excuse me. Seaweed baths are a great way for your body to absorb essential minerals and is soothing to the skin. Herbal baths are great for when you have a cold by soaking in a tub that includes a liter or two of very strong herbal tea. You may wonder how these baths work. Well, skin absorbs everything you put on it, to the degree that you shouldn't really put anything on your skin that you don't want to eat. So everything you put in your bath is something the skin absorbs, and it goes directly into your body. One excellent herbal bath to use is the mustard bath. When you notice your first symptom of a cold or just about anything, make yourself a very hot bath. Add 1 tablespoon mustard powder, 1 tablespoon ginger powder, 1 tablespoon cayenne powder to the bath and stir before you get yourself into the bath. Stay there for as long as possible, half an hour or more, and allow yourself to sweat. If you need to, you can put cold, wet cloths on your forehead and neck to help you deal with the heat of the bath. So when you're ready, move to your bed without drying yourself off first. Pile on the comforters and blankets and hot water bottles and stay in bed until your body temperature has returned to normal. Dry skin brushing is another excellent home treatment that can be very beneficial if done regularly. It stimulates the lymphatic system and thus helps detoxifying the body. It stimulates the blood circulation, removes dead skin cells, and is just plain invigorating. Other naturopathic home treatments are walking in nature daily, which is great for you on so many levels, as I mentioned before, especially if you take the time to be in nature. It is sunbathing and air bathing and wind bathing and walking barefoot on the ground. It's even, although this is not the time of the year for it, a great home treatment to walk barefoot in snow or on ice, or even just in the morning dew, first thing in the morning. Pick any of these, try them on, choose the one you like the best, and make it a part of your daily life. I mentioned before that you can get our 25 top body mind health tip, and these are complementary to what I have told you here, so you can just click on the link below this video and it will be sent to your email. In our school, we teach the first 3 levels of the Wise Woman's Way. The 4th level of the Wise Woman Way is supplements. We consider everything that's produced in a laboratory a supplement, like for example vitamin pills. Sometimes our body is just so knocked off balance and functions so poorly that we need some extra help. And that is when we turn to supplements. Besides vitamins, common supplements are minerals, amino acids, probiotics, digestive enzymes, phytonutrients, and many more. If you're interested in taking supplements, we encourage you to find a trained professional to help you select the best supplements for you. And the 5th level is the Western medicine. Western medicine has a very important role in healthcare and complements natural medicine wonderfully. When my son broke a bone snowboarding, that was his collarbone, I did not give him an herbal tea, I did not change his diet or give him essential oils. I did not give him an herbal bath either. No, I took him straight to the emergency room. Later, of course, I do all the other things for him, but not at first. No, I went to what Western medicine is excellent at, which is emergency care. So crisis, death of life situations, emergency, and diagnosis are some of the great things that Western medicine has to offer us. Western medicine has a clear and important place in our world, and it should never be a question of whether natural medicine or Western medicine is better than the other. It is, however, we believe, a question of when it's appropriate to use one or the other. So just a short summary of the Wise Woman's Way of health and healing. Number 1, what's the lesson? How have you created your health problems? 2, how much can you heal by changing what you eat? 3, nature as a healer. What herbs, essential oils, and other things can you use to facilitate healing? 4, do you need an extra boost? Then what supplements would be best for you? And 5, is it a matter of crisis or a death or life situation? One last thing I'd like to point out and invite you to think about. How many people start at number 5, Western medicine, then proceed to number 4, supplements, then go to number 3, nature as a healer, taking herbs and other supplements, and essential oils, and work with the flowers and etc., and the diets, healing diets. And then go to number 2, changing their day-to-day intake of food. And then finally look at what is their lifestyle. How many people do it start with number 5 and end up with number 1? That's a good question to think about. So feel free to leave your comments or questions on the page below. Lilia and I will be looking through it daily and answer you the best we can.
Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you get your copy of the 25 top body mind health tips that you can download just below here the video, and watch for our next video that's coming out in a couple of days, where we'll talk more about the mental and emotional part of health. Until then, take care.